What's going on today, guys? Tariffs really hit the market hard today. We saw some really crazy selling and price action, and we're all just hunkering down and bracing. Hopefully this storm will pass, but it's hard to say. We also saw some news today from DARPA, who is eyeing companies to target industrially useful quantum computers. We're going to watch that video and we're going to go over that. We're going to talk a little bit about the stock market and tariffs. I'll give my thoughts on that and strategies for this market. So if you're new to the channel, please consider leaving a like, and let's jump right in. All right, guys. So looking at our quantum watch list here, we see that with the rest of the wider market, everything is down with the exception of Intel and AMGN, who saw a little bit of green today. Amazon being down 9% was crazy to see. And IonQ, after a good day, they've had a little bit of a run, is down with the wider macro conditions. And if we kind of look over here, sometimes I like to do this, is just see what the chart did all day. So we had AMGN must have had some sort of news or catalyst in the day that shot it up. And overall, we just saw some steady selling without much recovery, although it does look like QBTS did have some nice recovery. So QBTS gapped down this morning. It had closed around $7.30 and started the day down at $6.80 and had a nice consistent uptrend through the day. And when we consider the wider macro trends, that's actually showing a lot of strength, and I'll show you why. We're going to go over. All right, so we're at the heat map here, and as you can see, today was an absolutely brutal selling day with Meta down 9%, Nvidia down 8%, Apple down 9%, Amazon down 9%. Really one of the worst days in the market for a very long time, and this is already coming after lots and lots of selling. So what's causing this, we know, is the tariffs that were announced by President Trump. So what's causing this, of course, is tariffs, and it's a word that has been a theme all year long. And now we're seeing that the tariffs were even more than the market was pricing in. So in a market like this, where we've had so much volatility and so much selling pressure, one way that I'm personally adapting is I'm just buying shares of companies, and good companies that I feel are going to do well in the long term. So I'm not too worried. This is one way to look at a market selling event like this, is that it's an opportunity to buy companies or enter the market at a lower price point. And when all of the dust settles and when this settles down, then you could potentially have a great entry point on some of these stocks. So I want to illustrate this by looking at the last year of our tech index QQQ. And I'm just going to go, I want to show what I was looking at earlier today and kind of my thinking around this. So we're in April of 25. If we rewind to April of 24, we're seeing prices in the Qs. We've essentially given back everything to April. But what you can see also is that this is a pretty significant level of support on the index. So it doesn't mean that we can't go down further, but what I want you to look at and pay attention to when you're looking at this bigger picture is, yes, we're in a pretty significant downtrend, but this price here, this price level, this 447, 450 price level has acted as a pretty significant top in the past. If we look at the date, in fact, it bounced off this 447 for weeks, February, March, April. It was stuck and then it sold off and then it shot up. And if we look here, we can see that we're kind of right on this yellow line, which has acted as both resistance and support. So it does seem to be a pretty key level for tech and the wider index in general. So today I did buy some more tech. I picked up some Google and Amazon and a little bit of quantum. In fact, I opened up some QUBT today just because I've been liking the price action, and it feels like perhaps something is known that we don't know. I know they're working on room temperature quantum, so I was happy to open a position with them today. And that's kind of just how I'm looking at this market is, okay, so I get the chance to go all the way back to April 2024 and buy shares. One thing that I'm also doing is I'm not buying options. I do feel like, especially short-dated options, I feel like this market could reverse at any time. So buying puts is potentially throwing money in the incinerator. What if these tariffs actually work out better than people expect? What if there's some new deals? What if some of the U.S. Comes to some agreements with other countries that actually reduce the trade deficits and open up more trading? We could see some positive catalysts like this that would move the market, which is at this point, if we look at the RSI, as a market, we're very oversold. So from a technical point, I'm not saying that there couldn't be further selling, but it does look like we're at a pretty critical level where we could start to see some reversal and perhaps some recovery. So maybe this market has found its bottom. It's hard to say because it's a very news-driven market and it's unpredictable. All right, so now we're going to switch gears into quantum and DARPA. So DARPA is eyeing companies to target industrially useful quantum computers. We're going to watch this video, look at the companies that were involved, talk about it a little bit, and then wrap things up.
Hi, I am Joe Altspeter. I am a program manager in DARPA's Microsystems Technology Office, and I am extremely excited to announce a major expansion of the quantum benchmarking initiative. Last year, we announced that we were going to try to do something crazy. Build the world's best, most qualified test and evaluation team for quantum computers, and put out a challenge to any quantum computing company that thinks they are going to transform the space in the next decade. My team is going to come and try to disprove any quantum computing company that steps up. And we are thrilled to announce that today that the very first companies are on contract who have stepped forward. We threw down the gauntlet. They have accepted the challenge. All the companies we're announcing today are embarking on what we call Stage A. It is a 6-month sprint. We want you to tell us how you want to build it, why your company is going to be able to do it, how it's going to change the world, and why what you're doing next year is going to put you in a position to go closer and closer to that goal. If you can get through that gate, then we're ready to kick the tires on the R&D plan. We try to figure out, does how you're marching there make sense? Are we going to be able to measure it? Do we know which metrics we want to track for success? And if you pass through that gate in Stage B, then the real fun starts. We're testing your equipment. We're independently evaluating if the components and subsystems and algorithms that you're building really are up to the task. And anybody who makes it all the way through the end of Stage C, we've either proven your concept doesn't work, or we've proven that, man, the US government should get one of these because it's going to change the world. We're going to do whatever we can to show that these companies' plans won't work. But we're going to be honest brokers. And if we find out that it does work after a lot of hard work, a lot of analysis, and a lot of independent testing, then we're going to tell the other agencies of the government who care about if quantum computers work or not. So far, we're not convinced of anything. But these companies deserve a lot of congratulations for getting through what was a pretty difficult round of questioning and signing up for a lot more.
So I really like that they put out this video. It does help explain what they're doing, what their mission is, that they're going to be really picky and choosy, and that all of these companies that have already applied have been accepted and they're in this stage 1. So it's pretty exciting and pretty huge news for quantum as a sector. And we see names, let's just go through the list. So we see Alice and Bob, which we know is private. Atlantic Quantum, I'm not going to know all of these, I will say that, but I've seen most of them. Atlantic Quantum, Atom Computing, DROC in Sydney, Australia, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, superconducting qubits with advanced fabrication. I actually did not know that Hewlett-Packard, I have a friend who works for HP. I did not know they were doing something with quantum. So that's going to be something to look at. Of course, IBM, IonQ, Nord Quantic, haven't heard of this one. Oxford Ionics, of course, we've heard of Oxford, Photonic, Quantinuum, covered Quantinuum on the channel before, Quantum Motion, Rigetti Computing, Silicon Quantum Computing, and Xanadu. And we've covered many of these companies before. So what am I taking from this? What I'm taking from this is the US government is getting serious about getting a rigorously tested quality quantum computer in their hands because they know how important it is. And this is pretty aggressive marketing. This is a pretty aggressive announcement. And it looks like the stakes are high. If you're one of these quantum companies, I think you're looking at this and saying, wow, this is an incredible opportunity to work with DARPA and to get our name out there and to build a quantum computer that could potentially change the world. So Quantum Benchmarking Initiative, DARPA, big news in the quantum world. And we saw quantum stocks actually hold their ground in light of huge companies selling off in an aggressive way today. So quantum, you better keep it on your watch list. And definitely if you haven't followed this channel, please consider leaving a like or subscribe if you feel I've earned it. And good luck in the market tomorrow. Hopefully we start to see some recovery.